Rahu Bot Collective, welcome into another reading. Um, a lot of people like to do love readings on today, uh, and like relationship readings and stuff of that nature. And though that's fine and dandy, we're gonna focus on the root. We're gonna be doing a reading on how you can get a better relationship with yourself. Um, or in the general grand scheme of things, like how to get a relationship with yourself, figuring out what could be fixed with that, um, figuring out if you even do. Some of you may have a love, but that's for more of a personal reading type thing anyway. But we're gonna try and just mix things, different types of readings for love, and see what comes out. Because a lot of people, when they go in for a love reading, they will expect to just hear a simple yes or no. That's what the ego wants. It's not as simple as that, and we all know that, right? So when we do a love reading, or we get one, and this is just an information for fellow readers out there, or people who are interested in getting love readings as well, be sure to ask about your own relationship with yourself. This is the main thing that a lot of people don't read about when it comes to love readings. Because if you don't have a good relationship with yourself, yeah, you might get a relationship, but it's not going to be one that's stable. It's not going to be one that's good. In fact, you'll be getting in a relationship externally with that toxic trait side of you that you haven't even focused and or tried to heal or even try to overstand. So then it has to be projected externally for you to deal with, which a lot of people have ended up dealing with that in the past. So let's just focus on the internal, how we can connect with ourselves more, how we can see some of that stuff in a greater light. And if and always, if you are wanting like a reading based on that or relationships, you can hit my email. I do all sorts of readings like that. Um, it just won't be like everyone else's. Is all. That's the only difference. We don't gratify the ego. We gratify the soul. That's what we're here to do, right? So anyway, we're gonna go see what's going on in this. And I hope y'all are having a good day as well. Hopefully, this day is blessed. If you do have someone to spend Valentine's with, I hope it's going well. If you don't, you have yourself. Just learn how to be comfortable with yourself. And if you're already comfortable with yourself, you're one step ahead of multiple people. Doesn't make you any better or worse. It just means that you're one step forward. That's all it means. Anyway, let's just go on and see before I ramble myself into a hole. Let's go see what's going on. So first we have water reverse. So there could be some tensions within the emotional spectrum. There could also be I don't want to say depletion. There could be a neutral. But I am getting that this day is either going to be one or the other, very super in-depth emotional, or just not really. It's just another day type of energy. So being careful of that. Also being aware of treating yourself. How do you feel? The best thing that you can really do on Valentine's Day is really just treating yourself. Do you want to take a nap? Treat yourself to that nap. Do you want to go out and eat? Treat yourself out to go out and eat. Are you willing to talk to someone? Talk to someone. Do what you desire to do that's going to gratify that soul, that heart space energy. Today is definitely a day to do it. You may have been in the past very exhausted due to your emotions. Today would be a very bountiful and beautiful day to actually sit back and relax and take care of that, especially since the full moon in Leo is still technically here. It's in the shadow phase. It's about to say goodbye. So this would be a very powerful time for transformation on that aspect as well. You have incubus and succubus, exactly. Some of you might just be feeling very exhausted, very out of it because you recently cut something or someone out that was very draining on your emotions, very draining on your feelings, I should say, very draining on the heart space, very draining on just how you feel day to day. This could even be like someone saying that they don't like something that you do and you just removing yourself from that situation because it's not for you. And then like you're just dealing with that emotional gap, that physical gap, I should really say. It's like it's just the time for rest, really. Yeah, we have horror reverse. There's not really much to be afraid of. It's like there's like a negation of fear. especially if you are looking for a relationship or trying to manifest a relationship or whatever. And I know not everyone's looking for that, but for the ones that are looking for it, because they don't really get an answer at all. They just get, oh, you're going to have someone come in, they're going to do XYZ. Yeah, well, if you're not doing that for yourself, why is someone else going to come in and do it for you? Right? People love to do that because that's what the ego wants, right? This is a time for you to step away from the fears of being in a relationship. And even in a more in-depth question for those who are like, I don't want a relationship, I don't care about that. Why? Ask yourself why. Really dig into yourself about that. Because is it due to a past fear? Is it due to a past relationship? Are you not even really connected with yourself, so you're not sure about what you do want in a relationship? And why do you think that a relationship has to be romantic? Why are you fixated on a romantic relationship if you're not wanting one? Because in that case, there's something inside of you that's saying that you need to be more romantic to yourself because you're not wanting someone externally to do it for you, right? Really gauge this stuff because it's a lot deeper than most people think. I see a lot of people go, I don't want love, I don't want this, I'll just be alone forever. And if that's not really what they want. Um, and they'll just live their whole life like that and have a part of them that's always going to be empty, that miserable energy, because misery likes company and will do a very good job of blending in with your ego to make it seem like you don't want anyone. The truth is you do want someone, whether that connection is with a deeper connection with yourself or a connection with someone external. That's really all you have to focus on, right? We have rebirth reverse, which is really saying like there's something that you're not wanting to come back. There's something that's not going to come back when it comes to an emotional value. This might even be how you viewed yourself in the past due to a past relationship, right? But something from the past is no longer going to hold a value, or is trying to, or you're trying to lessen its value to have it exit your life, which is good. Keep working on that, but you need to focus on the roots of this, because the first thing that came out was water. So really focus on your feelings. With the sun reverse, there's something that's not being seen. There's something that's not receiving some form of light, and it might be because of fear, it might be because of not understanding it, or it might just because your ego is putting up a big barrier that says I don't need to heal from this XYZ. And a lot of people, when they are stuck within this deprived feeling state, they'll put up this veil because their ego wants to protect them, when in deep down inside they're really just scared and afraid and very unstable and unsure of how to move forward and how to do things. And they end up projecting that externally as, oh, I don't care about this, I don't care about that, I don't want a relationship, I don't want anything of that nature, when in actuality that's just their ego saying that. And deep down inside they do want one, but maybe they're wanting it to be a private one. Maybe they're not ready to admit that they want one yet. A lot of people end up like this. They end up in this sour energy. And it's just good to check up for yourself to make sure that you know, and it's not just like some sort of ego. And your ego will very much make you think your first thought being, oh, I don't really care. Or, no, that's not it at all. I already know. But do you really? Because your ego will stay solid. Your ego will stay in a one lane, and it won't change. It will only change whenever there's a need to change its regimen or its protection. Your soul will change constantly. It's the constant, right? We have corruption that wants to come up. There is some form of energetic corruption. There is some form of past corruption that you have, like a corrupted memory or a corrupted way of feeling. Just it's not the correct way of actually feeling or being right now. And it's causing things to move around in your life. Maybe you ended up moving a different way, moving a different path. Um, or again, you're just kind of pushing certain individuals or certain energies away from you because you're not really seeing some sort of deep emotional attachment to an outcome or to some sort of past issue that you're kind of needing to work through at this time. We have, I mean, here it is with warding again, like you're pushing something away. So be aware of that, especially today, especially if you're one that is trying to draw in love. You're doing your manifestations, you've been doing your all your works and stuff to get like a love to come in. We might need to be careful with what you're pushing away. Are you pushing away love because it's not the physical attraction? Are you pushing away love because it's not how you desire it to come in? What's going on with that? What are you not accepting? And what are you allowing your ego to manipulate and control almost in a situation, right? We have conquest. This is the thing to conquer today, I guess. And I'm also getting, if you are in a relationship, today would be a very good day to strengthen bonds or to renew bonds or whatever, or renew a vow or whatever you wish to do to strengthen the core relationship by getting deeper within conversation, being more authentic today. Having that tough conversation might even be good for some of you. um, a lot of people say, "Oh, don't have that deep conversation," but this is the thing: the moon is still in Leo. Like we're exiting that shadow phase. It's a transformation for relationships. It's Valentine's Day. Everyone wants to say Valentine's Day is about love. You got to be careful with that, and also be careful of lust. A lot of people like to think that the Cupid is this angel. It is not an angel. It is a demon. It is a little devil. The Cupid is not an angel. Just because it has wings doesn't mean it's doesn't mean it's an angel. Okay, just because a bug has wings doesn't mean it's always going to fly. Beetles don't fly; they glide. If you didn't know, now you do. They literally use vibrations in the electromagnetic field, and they sit there and vibrate. A lot of bugs do that. They have wings, but they don't fly. They glide or they flutter. And different things, right? So just be aware of lust as well. Don't fall for the trap of, oh, I want to do this or I want to do that without really knowing what it is, especially if you are one to celebrate Valentine's Day wholeheartedly. Be careful of lust. This isn't talking about love spells. Ignore that. If you don't love someone, you just don't love them. Simple as that. If you don't want to be in a romantic relationship with someone, you won't. There's always going to be some sort of attachment inside of you that's going towards that. If you're being attracted to someone with love spells, if you're not, then you're not. That's the whole point, right? It's up to you. You are the controller of your world. Just because someone else is doing that to you doesn't mean you have to fall for them. You can always get those feelings of love internally, but that love is such a complicated emotion, because love doesn't always mean I'm going to make out with you and we're going to have babies. Love can simply just mean I'm going to give you a hug whenever I see you, or I'm going to congratulate you on something. You know what I mean? It's a vast, like all feelings are vast like that. And a lot of people get love messed up, especially on Valentine's Day, because they think they can do X, Y, Z, and they can't even they can't even begin the alphabet with A, with a lowercase a, to begin with at all. So you got to make sure what's going on. So just really make sure that you're not falling for lust, you're not falling for someone from the past that you're not wanting to go towards. Making sure as well that you're not, when you if you do express yourself to someone, if declined, don't allow that to rip and tear you apart. For some of you all, you might have been watching videos of saying, "Oh, you're not going to be alone this Valentine's Day," or "You're going to find your love this Valentine's Day." Um, if that happens, amazing. If that doesn't happen, amazing. It wasn't meant to happen, right? It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It just means that you just took someone's word and you fell for that trap again. And that's fine, because that's just what we do. We end up getting in states where we're needing those words of encouragement, and we kind of don't know when to stop receiving that encouragement before it starts to corrupt our reality. And then we're not only fighting with our consciousness, our right minded self that's focusing on the external, but we're also fighting the polarity of the masculine side that focuses on the feminine, right? And we'll break that down too. We'll have to do a whole other video about that one, the breakdown, because it gets deep, right? Because there can't be one. So you have two masculine, two feminine always, right? And one feminine is going to be focused on the external, one feminine is going to be focused on the internal, right? And the external for that feminine would be the external focusing on the masculine focusing on the external. And then you would have the masculine side of the mind that's going to focus on the feminine, on the internal. That's how you can hear both things. That's how both things are manipulated and changed both ways, right? So just being aware of that is really going to help. We have autumn reverse, and again, there's something that's keeping you from. It's like there's something that you're not shedding. There's something you haven't let go. It could even be, because a lot of times this happens too, and this is something that is really a spell when it comes down to it, are people that just don't want to be in a relationship anymore. And the day that they decide to do it happens to be on Valentine's Day. Now, the big whole curse with that, the big spell that's put over humanity on that, is today is just a day like any other day. The only difference is that what is today? Like Friday? Yeah. The only difference is this Friday, which is also, it's funny, like today, this Friday is just called Valentine's Day, right? If next Friday was called Valentine's Day, would it change what you did today? Not really, right? You have to ask yourself that question. Now, if it did change and you wanted to break up with someone on Valentine's Day, why are you being an asshole? Like, let's just get down and dirty with it. Why are you being mean? Why do you want to try and hurt someone like that? You need to go get help in therapy, because you got stuff that you got to work through. Okay, that's the point blank center. But if it doesn't change, then there's not a need to grab on so tightly, right? Be how you want to be. Don't let customs of the external world control what you need to do to help better not only your external world, but better your internal world as well, right? You might have got something in the dream state. You may even be having some sort of connection with divine counterparts, twin flames. However, in the dream realm and while sleeping, you might be having more romanticized dreams or wet dreams or whatever the case that you can't necessarily control, right? Pay attention to those dreams. Pay attention to how they make you feel. Pay attention to the relationships in your dreams. Maybe this could even be like a past friend coming, because a lot of people, when they hear Valentine's Day, they think that it's going to be like love, and they don't know the history of Saint Valentine. Go do your research on Saint Valentine. You'll figure out why we have Valentine's Day, and it's not what you think. You can even watch the movie My Bloody Valentine and kind of get a few hints from that movie as well. Funnily enough, right? Anywho, be very aware of your dreams. This could even be a dream that you're going to accomplish or step forward with and make. There is a lot of things that you need forgiveness for as well that might be needing to happen today. Just today's a good day to just take care of that feeling self, that heart space. If you've been holding on to a relationship that you know isn't good for you and you decide to break it, forgive yourself by breaking it, and then forgive yourself for taking so long, and forgive yourself for any, if you need to, of course, forgive yourself for any damages that you've done to anyone while ending relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. However, forgive yourself for staying in those positions for long. Forgive yourself for not knowing. Forgive yourself for not breaking it sooner. Forgive yourself for everything. Just genuinely do so, right? You're looking for that type of validation externally, even if it's not conscious. So just give yourself that validation yourself so that you can start receiving it in all sorts of ways, right? Because there's something that you're not seeing accurate. There's some sort of missed target or misplaced lesson or misplaced feeling or misplaced focus that's keeping you from really going out and achieving a dream relationship or achieving that dream life, or breaking apart from someone that isn't allowing you to live those dreams, someone that feels very dominating and controlling on those things. Again, it's not allowing you to create what you're necessarily wanting to create. So just having an increased focus on that and seeing that, holding yourself in more honor is really what's going to help you as well. Allowing yourself to sit up on a higher pedestal, not compared to anyone else other than your past, right? And just say, I'm going to be better than my past, right? But in order to do that, you need to release some things, release some people, ties, binds, all ways of feeling, all those things, because they no longer serve you. They're no longer allowing you to move forward in the way that you're really desiring to. So just focusing on that. Yeah, we have leech reverse. There's not like removing these leeches that are like keeping you from your dreams, removing the leeches in the sense of not saying that someone's draining you now, but it's the fact that you are holding on to someone or something so tightly that it's not allowing you to really nurture yourself the way that you're needing to. Or on the other hand, you're holding on to an old identity of yourself that is not allowing you to move forward into new lands, right? It's insight, foresight. You're not seeing something clearly. So, like today would be a very good day to do some heart chakra meditations, some heart chants, just doing some green work, right? We have lead as well. This is a lot about strengthening communications as well, really talking more, even with yourself, other people. Again, this is just a very good day to do that, right? And we have war. This is something that you might have been fighting silently too. Just talking about your silent battles with someone, to someone that's going to have that emotional space for you. And also removing yourself from people who are asking too much of your emotional value at this time, right? Sometimes you can't be there for people, and that's perfectly fine. You shouldn't have to beat yourself up over that, right? So if you are one to be a very big giver when it comes to emotional spaces, be a receiver. Receive an emotional space. Receive someone uh, to talk to. Open up your arms instead of giving so much. Today's a really good day for the givers to receive and for the receivers to give, right? That's what today's going to really be about, because that transaction is really going to echo not only through your internal but your external, as well as the universal, just life as it is, right? So really pay attention to that today. Pay attention to what you're desiring to do. Pay attention to what would bring you joy pay attention to what would allow you to move a little bit more free, feel less restrained, feel more, I guess, in control. Not really in control of anyone or anything, just more in control of um who gets to lead. If you would rather Jill to lead, which is your heart, or Jack to lead, which is your mind, right? Because we have the chariot reverse. There's some sort of key. There's a door that's locked. There's not really an accessible way of doing something at this time. When the chariot's upright, it talks all about having the key. It's the final card in the tarot story. You get to move forward. You get to fly away, right? Your wings are grown. There's something about your wings not being ready for a new chapter. This could even be an impatience for love, or an impatience to leave a love, but you haven't quite done what you need to do yet. And that's why the Nine of Cups reverses here. There's something that you haven't, like what you're trying to achieve. It's possible, but you're not doing it right. There's a wish, there's a foundation that's not solid. If you were to leave that relationship or gain that relationship, what next? Do you have a plan for that? Or would you spend part of that energy in that relationship with a plan for what to do? Or without that relationship with a plan for what to do, taking up more time than you need, right? And that doesn't mean to sit within misery, and that definitely does not mean to wait for a sign from God or someone else to tell you to leave that relationship. You do it whenever you feel like it, right? The God inside of you will tell you. You don't have to wait for anyone else or anything else to show you. You don't have to wait to see like a blue jay and go, oh, that's my grandma, and they're telling me to. No, just do it if you want to, right? Those are just going to confirm what you're truly desiring, whether you are aware of that or not. Again, with the King of Wands, take control of these ideas, take full action of these ideas. This is the Sagittarius energy. What are you desiring to do? And allow that flame to transmute. We're leaving the Leo moon. We have a Sagittarius card out, which I love seeing right now. It move forward. Let that flame engulf you. Let yourself move with that full passion. You have the Ace of Swords, and let that crowned thought rule through. Whatever you're thinking, like what are you desiring to do? Do those things. Trust me, today is a very good day to do it. You will be receiving a lot more, and you'll be giving a lot more than you would truly realize at this time. And it's going to help you see how to obtain those desires, those wishes in a better way. And then we have the Knight of Wands, transitioning from the wands to the cups. Once you start getting those, being faced with those ideas, then you can start worrying about the cups. The Nine of Cups is in reverse. That's the Chariot. You can't move yet because there's an idea that you haven't quite seen yet. And you might have just got the idea and thought about it, but you actually haven't put any effort with moving it and transmuting it to the next phase, which would be the cups, the feelings aspect, right? Because again, we have two nines on top of each other. This is very good. Like you have a cycle that is completing. You are completing some form of cycle. With the Nine of Pentacles, there is this gratification that's happening. There is a test that is being passed. This is the final steps. Do you need to go back and do something? Do you need to, is it good to just move forward to the 10? Right? Can you just complete the lesson and move on to the next level? What do you need to do? For relationships, for love, are you loving yourself enough? This is the day that if I'm not loving myself enough, let me go back to a drawing board. Let me go back to the fours. We haven't had any fours come out yet. But what do I want to do? Do I want to, do this first before I do that? Do I want to do that first before you break up with someone? Do you want to go out and just have fun? Do you want to go take a walk? Do you want to go meditate for a minute before you take that leap? Before you ask someone, do you want to do that same thing? What are you desiring to do? Right? Really get that plan solidified. Double check before you move on, basically, right? Because you don't want to end up in a Nine of Swords situation. You do not want to end up with moving forward and, oh, did I do something wrong? And even now, even looking at how these are laying out, the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, the Ace of Swords, is there anything that you are stressing about, feel like you can't do? This is a battle between the duality and internally, right? Not an external duality, because the duality is externally is a mirror. It's the internal, right? The external is a polarity. The internal could be a duality, so to speak, right? Then when you're looking at that, you need to understand this is a Gemini card. This is the two in you. This is the I will, I won't, I can, I can't. Yes and no, right? That's what Gemini is. It's just those two things. It's the twins. It's any type of like Cain and Abel, any sort of story with twins killing each other or one twin killing another. This is what the Gemini card. That's what Gemini means in astrology. That's what Gemini means in tarot. That's just what it is, right? It's a two. It's a agreeable and a disagreeable. What are you disagreeing with, and what are you agreeing with? And that combat that's inside of you needs to end. And again, the Nine of Swords is all about like you could be losing sleep. This could be something in your sleep. However, what's going on? Because you have all these choices on the Raider Weight. The quilt has all the zodiac and a bunch of roses. It's a quilt of many things. What are you wanting to do? You can do anything that you're desiring, but you're struggling with it. And this is the time to really just detach, right? Not be so attached to doing one thing. Don't be attached to, oh, if I do this, then that's going to happen, and then that's going to happen. Don't worry about that. That's not for you to dictate. That's for the divine to dictate. Once you take the step forward, then those things are going to happen, right? What do you want to do first? What do you desire to do first? How are you going to treat yourself? How are you going to treat your partner? Are you wanting to pull up to your partner and give them a surprise even though you've never done that before? Do it. It'd be cute. It'd be nice, right? Do something externally. Detach yourself from what's going to happen next and just allow things to flow naturally, because you trying to control the outcome, even if this isn't with a relationship, even if this is with you trying to prevent a relationship from coming towards you, you're stopping your life. You're stopping things from moving forward in your life. Even if you're not wanting a romantic relationship, you can allow that individual to come to you and then just decline when they ask a question so that you can move forward instead of stalling yourself and keeping yourself paused on a one-way track. A lot of people don't know that when it comes to life, when it comes to manifestation. But if you don't allow someone or something to transpire, then you're not going to be moving forward. You're going to stay stagnant. You're going to stay stuck. That's why things aren't going to move forward, because you keep declining that next step. So be aware of that, especially if you are someone that keeps watching these readings of saying someone's going to come in for you, someone's going to come in for you, and you don't want someone to come in. Cool. Stop restricting yourself though, because what if you are someone that has someone to come in and you need to make that choice and you keep saying no and preventing them from coming in? Now you're stuck and stagnant and you're not getting anything or getting anywhere, even though your ego would like you to think that it is. It's not, and you're only hurting yourself because of your own fear. And it is a fear because you're not wanting to face it, and it's because of fear. And that fear might be transmuted into anger or just a disagreeable action or however, but it's rooted in fear, right? It's the red energy. We don't need any of that. And this is, again, justice reversed. It's not showing you any sort of gratitude. It's not showing you a balance. It's keeping the scales tilted in the wrong way. There's no balance for you. So really understand that and really get yourself in a position where you're not worried. There's so many nines coming out, like all the way. And again, Queen of Wands, because you're not nurturing the idea you're being faced with. You're not allowing the idea that you're being faced with to even start. With the Queen of Wands, right? That's Aries energy. That's the beginning. That's the start of, right? It could start and then you could light a flame. Like here, hold on. I could light this, right? And then the flame could just decide not to go up. Like this could be out of gas. I wouldn't even know, right? And it just won't do it, right? That's okay. That's whatever. That could just be completely out of butane and I can't click anymore. It's just not going to do anything. Or it could do what it just did and start that flame. And then that flame could go light something else, which would be going into Leo. And then once it's lit and doing something, like I could light incense. And when the incense is finally lit, that'd be the Sagittarius of the fire, right? That'd be the full thing. But you're preventing it from even starting. You're preventing it from even having a chance to deplete. Oh, you understand? So just make sure that you're not stopping your own life today when it comes to this. Listen to how you feel. Talk to yourself. Learn how to speak fish. Learn how to speak with yourself. Learn how to learn the language of your internals instead of just dictating your responses off of other people's words, because that's not who you are unless you are a robot. And I mean, if that is you, then have fun, because I don't know how it is to be a robot. I can't tell you. I wouldn't know. But I mean, that's for you to decide. That's for you to decide. And if, again, like if you don't know how to decide for yourself, that's something that you need to be talking with to yourself. You should definitely hook me up for a reading. I'll set you out straight with that, because it all depends on who you are. You know, you can't just be taking collectives for who you are. You can take tidbits, bits, and pieces of it, but for you to know you, that's a journey for yourself to take, right? And again, it's just giving back to yourself. The Six of Pentacles, allowing yourself to not be that beggar anymore, allowing yourself to balance out the scales, allowing yourself to give um both your mental, your feelings, excuse me, your feeling state and your emotional state what they need so that they can connect, because right now they're not connected. And if you are looking for a yes or no for a relationship, one could manifest, but with this how this reading is going, don't take it. I don't even care if the dude's like a bajillionaire. Don't take it, because he's probably going to abuse you, because there's a disconnect when it comes to you giving. You need to give to yourself. Why do you need to give to yourself? There's a disconnect. Why are you unable to give yourself the validation, the glory that you're needing, right? For this reading, if this reading resonates with you, of course, and I really wouldn't get into a relationship, because there's some work that needs to be done internally before you can even step out and do those things, right? But if you have done those things, then you should go for it. If you're wondering if a relationship's going to come in for you, I guess you could take this as a no, because of what you're giving yourself as well, and what you're giving yourself is what we just talked about, right? It's the Hierophant, though. You have the keys to unlock the doors. It's just you're not doing it. You're restricting yourself from seeing a higher picture. You're restricting yourself from being in a higher state of being by participating in lower vibrations, right? And then again, this is because of your masculine, your rational sided brain, your right side, because you're so focused on the external. You're so focused on what you're not wanting that you're instantly creating things that you don't want. You're creating more panic, more of that in your life. And even as I'm speaking about this, I literally just keep getting flashes of people commenting, I don't want a relationship. No one cares if you want one or not. That's a you thing. If you don't want one, cool. Just let life pass on, though. Stop saying no to things that could can progress your life. You can say no to it when it comes to you in the physical, but when it's in the spiritual, that's between you and yourself. You're saying you don't want a relationship with yourself, and that's why you're disconnected, and that's why I don't know what to do. But then your ego is going to say, no, I am connected, because it's connected to itself, and that's how it wants to be, because it's a stingy little kid that don't want to share his toys. Simple as, right? Wheel of Fortune, reversed. And this is the fate side of wheel. This is where you end up on fate, because you're not allowing destiny to happen. Maybe you're destined to meet someone, and then you're destined to say no. Maybe you're destined to meet someone when you don't want a relationship, but then you end up getting a relationship because you find out that they're a genuine person. You know what I mean? You never know. You don't know. You can't say that you do. You can't go to a reader and say that they know either, because maybe it is for that 1 second when you got that reading, and then tomorrow it's a different answer, right? That's why that happens, because time is always changing, and so are you. And if you change on a molecular level to allow something to come into your life, and then you get a reading one day it says no, another reading it says yes, and just because you're not paying attention to you and how you truly feel deep down, then you'll never get a straight answer. No one can tell you unless you're constantly 1000% getting readings from a certain individual. Like maybe if you had a household oracle and you just constantly went to them 24/7, you could probably do it then. But other than that, not really. And again, Page of Wands reverse. They're not facing this idea. There's this idea that you're not truly seeing. There's this reality check. There's this searching that needs to happen. This inner fire searching that needs to happen. So you can start nurturing yourself on these levels that aren't being seen or perceived yet. They're all subconscious. The subconscious is really going to show itself to you on what you desire, what you want today. So really pay attention to that. Really move forward with that energy so that you know when and how to move forward. And it's less of a how, because the how will come to you naturally. It's the when. The ego will be fully satisfied when it knows when, right? Because you already know how, right? You can talk with the divine for how, but until the ego knows when something's going to come to, it's going to just go bananas. So focus on the how it's going to come in. How do you want it to come in? And then when you focus on the how do you want it to come in, focus on the relationship that you have with yourself. If my relationship with myself is shaky, it's going to come in shaky. If my relationship with myself is solid, then it is solid. If I know what I want, then it's not going to be worrisome. If I don't know what I want, then I might have to go through 3 or 4 people to figure out what I'm desiring, right? All these things are important. All these things are important, but not many people like to talk about it because they're not real. They're fake. They're not aware of these things. They're not conscious as they would like to seem, at least. That's why you got to be careful. You got to be very, very careful. But regardless, let's move on and see about anything else that's going up, that's coming through. So we have, harmony and silence. Just sit in silence today. Really take time to meditate. Really take time to just see what you need to do. And if this is like with you doing something with your partner, go take a walk or something. Again, like just space yourself out so that you can have a solidified plan for what to do. And that's really just about it. Don't worry about anything else. Get into flow elements, getting into the flow of life, getting into the true nature of things, letting the universe just take things up and doing it that way, letting God do what God needs to do, and allowing the physical reality to be manipulated by those forces as it is. Pay attention to the signs. I was just about to mention the birds chirping. Pay attention to the signs that you're receiving right now. You might have been getting a lot of signs of fertility, dreams of like pregnancy and stuff. There's a little birdie went out my window again, just like paying attention. There's like a very high, soft, calm vibration today, and you need to get into that energy because there's is again, it's life. It's something about something coming back around, a growing, a starting point. It's time to really show not only no, it is no. It's time to just show yourself that you truly do want to move forward. It's time to show yourself that you do desire something different to happen. It's time to show yourself that you have been stagnant for too long and that there is a new move that you're wanting to make. There is a new style that you're wanting to go with, right? And it's about being grounded in it because Earth reverse, there's an ungroundedness. So really take time to ground yourself today, especially if you are one to be upset or in sorrow about not having a Valentine's or someone to be in a relationship with today. Just ground yourself and get a relationship with yourself first. Because if you don't have a relationship with yourself, you're not going to have one with someone else either. You'll be stuck saying, oh, well, this, and that isn't happening, and that's okay. You can meet a perfect partner. It's just those that have those perfect partners know themselves. Both individuals, both parties know themselves fully, internally and externally, to allow those to happen, right? And again, it's something's not over. Something isn't going the right way. Something needs a little bit more work, right? To really work with that so you can receive these blessings. There might be something that, again, blessings that you're holding back. There's some sort of bliss or some sort of luck that hasn't kicked in yet, and you feel like you're unable to have it or receive it or any of those things, right? You're just unable to grasp or grab the blessing or the luck or the streak that you've been wanting, and it's because there's something that's not done yet. There's a groundingness that needs to happen. So don't be so elusive to it. Don't just say, oh, God's going to help me, because God's waiting on you to take the next fucking step. It's not that. It's not just, you know what I mean? Like if it happened that way, then everyone would just be like, hey, I want this to happen. It would instantly fucking happen, like immediately. If it happened that way, it would be that way. The fact that it doesn't happen that way is because there's something internally that's not allowing it to go through. There's a disagreement, there's a boundary put up that you just got to see, again, connect. There's something that's not connecting. The system's not complete. So take time today to focus on that. If you are struggling with wanting a relationship, or even if you do have a relationship, just figure out what's connecting, what's not. This, again, going further on your pathway, moving forward, you're on your way up. The objective that you've been wanting to complete can be completed. You're just needing to see something in a different light, taking your power back. This is a tower moment. This is a Jack and Jill moment. Do you want to follow Jill? Do you want Jill to just show you that the water's at the base of the tower because water falls? Or do you want Jack to climb up this gigantic tower and then fall down into like humiliation, right? Don't be blinded by this. You might be blinded by something happening. You might be blinded to how events in your life are actually connected due to a lack of receptivity or a lack of giving or anything of those natures, right? Just paying attention to those things because they're trying to show you today heavily what's going on. All in all, though, just take time to connect with yourself. Take time to breathe. Take time to be you. Because again, there's something that's not stable. There's something that you're not feeling at home with something. So you need to take a new leap and try something new. There's something that's not giving you full comfort. There's something that you need to try to do. Something that you haven't read in between the lines yet either. There's a deeper meaning. There's a deeper part of a message that only you can truly get out. And you're needing to really look at the clues around you and doing that. Again, this is your honest energy. This is yourself figuring out who you are. Almost maybe even figuring out who you are again, like a second time doing it. However, this is for you, just paying closer attention to that, paying more attention to what around you is going and what part of you is not going. So we're going to use a few more of these because I know I'm on a time schedule right now. I just don't know when the thing is going to happen. So I'm trying to get through, but also give a thorough message at the same time. All right. So first we have the Ten of Swords reverse. Again, I feel like that's a good card to come out right now as well. Don't trap yourself. Like there is a trap that you can completely avoid. There's a thought process that can be eliminated today. There is a belief system that can be eradicated today if you allow it, right? The Knight of Wands, but you have to allow it to transpire. You have to move with that energy. You are the only one that can. So allow yourself to see what you're wanting to happen and move forward from it instead of being in this cycle of not letting it happen. And how we're going to break that cycle, how we're going to defeat the ego, how we're going to defeat that past version of yourself is by going within. You haven't been going in as much as you need to. You haven't been going in as much as you desire. You haven't been reading your dreams as much. You haven't been paying attention to the signs. You haven't been paying attention to how you actually feel at this time. But when you start doing so, that's when things are going to start aligning. You're going to start getting more justice. You're going to feel more balance. You're going to be able to know where to move and how to move, right? You'll be given the oh my god, I forgot what they're called. Anyway, you'll be given the final wand that you need. Let me go look up what that is real quick. I should have said it was on my mind. You'll be given the scepter that you need. You'll be given the scepter on the world card in the Raider Waite. The world, the mother is holding two scepters, right? One for her, that's always going to be for her, which is in her left, and then the one in her right is the one she's giving to the fool so that he can become the magician and then fully drive the chariot, which is that scepter in both those hands, right? And this is you receiving your scepter. This is what you need to do to receive that scepter, to receive that okay, to receive that final key, to receive that green light, that thumbs up, whatever you're needing, so that you can be victorious, so that you can move forward with that victory energy, so you can be in that desirable area. But right now, your mind, your masculine, is so focused on doing its own thing, on running its own way and running its own life, that you're not really focusing on the internal that needs focused on. You're not focusing on the truth, the true meaning of what you're feeling, of what it is to be you at this time. And the best way to help you with that is to let go of how you want things to transpire. The divine already knows what things you want to transpire. The divine is not going to give you something that you don't want. You're just going to be disagreeable with whatever you receive because that's just you. That's the devil inside of you that you don't want to tame, and you'd rather, you don't want to kick it out. You just rather keep it around and be like, oh, well, I need you. You don't need it. You need it to leave so that you can rule your own life in the way that you're desiring and not have another part of you be so disagreeable that it causes the chaos in you, right? That doesn't mean you're not going to disagree with yourself, but you need to take off that rose-colored glasses towards those that are hurting you or those that are not benefiting you, because that's not helping you internally or externally at all. You have all that you need. The divine's already going to have its wand stapled to the mason, stapled to the brick, stapled to what it is. It's not going to change. It is what it is. But you need to understand the world's in your hand. The world's in your hand. And you can do anything that you desire because you also have your own wand. You need to investigate your waters, investigate your emotions, investigate how you feel, and wait. before you act. There's thoughts that you're thinking that need to be pondered on, that need to be stalled, to be yielded, right? And again, Ada Wands reverse, because those thoughts that you have will make you miss an opportunity. There's some sort of thoughts that you don't even need to be entertaining or having at this time either, but you continuously allow them to come to you. So don't. And as I said, that a flock of birds flew past the window. So again, letting things go. This is a good time to release old ways, old boundaries, just being more authentic to self, not being so disagreeable, not letting your ego rule your life because you think that it's going to protect you. It's not going to protect you. It won't protect you. You will only protect yourself, and your ego doesn't want you to know that, because your ego wants you to think that only it can. Well, if it can only protect you, why can it not do anything instantly on the external? Why does it have to go through a configuration system? Why does it have to go through a matrix of existence to even move forward, right? Well, we're gonna get some animal cards for y'all, and we're gonna see what's going on in there. I got the wrong deck, but that's okay. we'll get the top, we'll get the bottom and the top of this, and then we'll get a few of the pocket animal, because I was gonna originally use the pocket animal. I just grabbed this. So we have Lion, which is control. If you have moderate aggressive impulses, is it an invitation to control your temper? You are encouraged to explore how you express your needs or thoughts more openly and constructively to reduce your level of frustration. This could definitely be if you're having something that you talk to in a relationship with how it's going. Definitely work with that. We have Armadillo, which is protection. You're entering a phase where, in order for you to be in alignment with your intentions and co-create your best life, you may have to be discerning and say no to many things that have been holding you back in the past. And again, these past ways of thinking could just be you saying no to things because you think that you don't want them whenever you feel like you do need them, and you've got this confusion because you'd rather listen to your thoughts rather than your feelings, because you think that your feelings get you hurt, but it's your thoughts that get you hurt, because your thoughts will lead to actions. Many people who don't know anything about life will say that the way to manifest is thoughts to feelings, that your thoughts will create feelings. Yeah, your thoughts can create feelings, but the way you need it to happen is from an idea to a feeling to a thought. From being faced with, oh, I don't have this, or I have this, what can I do with it? And then allowing that feeling to think. Your first thought is a feeling. When you scratch your head, do you just think, oh, I have to scratch my head, or do you feel something there? No matter how gentle it is, no matter how subtle it is, you feel something there to make you do that. When people talk with their hands, they don't just do it randomly. It's the vibrations that they're about to say. It's the idea of what they're about to say that their subconscious is going to make them say, that then produces that energy, that feeling to envelop in it, which then leads to you know what I mean? Like, there's a whole cycle when it comes to these things, and people are not as aware as they think they are when it comes down to it, and it's unfortunate. But their advice isn't always wrong. It just can be very confusing for those who don't know that there's a few extra steps, that there's another step that they're just completely missing, right? But we're gonna get the bottom. We're gonna shuffle a few times. Okay, we'll take you then. We'll take the top, and then we're going to shuffle a few more times and take the split. Let's see what we've got. So we have starfish, fish, black egg, and bat. A lot of water, some air, and a spirit. So starfish, beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? When in balance, uplifting, artistic, and expressive. When out of balance, gossip and feels empty. To bring into balance, positive friends. Isn't fish like the first No, it's not. Okay. It is not. What the? Where is fish? Oh, I passed it up. My bad. Fish. Relentless change of focus lost in the current. The fish loves to be subsumed in life's current. Nothing pleases it more than movement, movement, and more movement. The roaming lifestyle of the fish may be exhilarating for a while, but usually leads to weariness and slippery relationships. With all the possibilities out there in the vast water, the fish becomes lost without clear goals and intention. Spend some time with the lunar forces, dear fish, as the peace of the calm moon will soothe your soul. When in balance, adaptable, travels well. When out of balance, distracted, changes mind often, and to bring into balance, set a small goal and accomplish it. We have bat, which is darkness letting go, death leading to rebirth. Before emerging, the bat waits for the sun to set and the moon to rise. In the darkness, it can see all that was invisible in the daylight hours. The bat is the master to the subtle senses of the underlying forces that cause some things to prosper and others to fade. The bat card shows up to signify an ending of a chapter with the closing of the door. The bat comes swiftly, encouraging us to move on. In just a few hours, a new day dawns. No more lingering in the past. When in balance, accepts, adapts, and adjusts. When out of balance, refuses to let go and reminisces. To bring into balance, watch the sunrise. And then we got the black egg. The black egg is speaking from an authentic voice and the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. The living and breathing vessel harbors only that rings true. This essence is in balance when we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like reading, writing, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sound draws us in. Books draw us in. The concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things that others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories just to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. The black egg in the fifth chakra. The subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw the center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translates to especially pure. The balance of this center is important for all of us, but it's especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. Uh, we'll get the angel cards too, because I was told to get those before the reading. So we'll get the angel cards. We'll see what's going on in here, and then we will be finished with the reading. And then the split. It was funny that the first angel I seen was Roashel, which is the lovers. I mean Hanael, which is the lovers card. Roashel did call out pretty heavy too, so we'll put you out there. So Rochelle, God seeing everything, restitution, finds stolen objects, and discovers the person responsible. Samael, the severity of God, seduction and downfall, communicates with the dead, teaches the occult and magic. Hanael, joy of God, joy and pleasure, brings happiness to couples, removes negative energy. IL, excuse me. God, the pleasure of man's children, transformation, gives consultation and advisory. Nithael, the king, God, the King of Heaven, rejuvenation, obtains the mercy of God and gives long life. Imamiya, God hidden in darkness, atonement of errors, destroys the power of enemies and humiliates them. And last but not least, Sitael, the God of hope, construction of the universe, helps with great works, protection from adversaries. And that is the reading. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Thank you, angels. Thank you, God, Mother, Father. Thank you all. Spirit, souls, cast over loved ones, ancestors, and all for being here. And thank you, Clutcher, for being here as well. Thank you for all the support, the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, whether they are energetic or financial. I appreciate them wholly. If you're wanting readings, any of my services at all, you can email me or use the order form, and I'll get you settled away that way. If you're looking for educations things, we have playlists on this channel that you can go to. Just go to my channel, the playlist is right there. Um, and if you're looking for books to read, Malachi's the York books are free in the description. Malachi is coming home soon. But definitely do your research with that if you're wanting to know a little bit more truth or just about what Nuwapu is. Regardless, I love each and every one of you all to the moon and back tenfold and forever, and I will see you all later.